Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, y'all. Thank you for coming back to TalkTruth Series, Girl Connection. You know, it's Thursday night. Thank you for being so faithful, for staying tuned and keeping in touch. Thank you for saying hi. Thank you for liking and sharing. Please continue to like and share and say hey so we can know that you're here and so I can give you a shout out when we're actually doing roll calls. All right. So tonight, as you can see, we'll be talking about the mask behind the mask. But before we get into that, let me introduce myself. My name is Shanique Davis, and I am your host for tonight. And of course, I am also an author, and this is a platform that I dedicate to my fellow authors as I give them a space to speak and share their message. And so, as an author, I believe that we all have a message. And so, as we get into the show tonight, I hope that you'll be blessed. I hope that you will take something from us tonight and that you will leave here feeling even better than you came. If you would like to be a sponsor, please let me know. Our PayPal information is in the description. If you would like to get your copy of my book, Breaking Your Barriers, Change Unhealthy Life Cycles and Unravel the True You, it is here in Jamaica at York Pharmacy. You all know where that is. And it's only $2,500. Thank you. All right. So it's just for you to just travel light, unload yourself from the burden of unforgiveness, doubt, fear, bitterness, feeling unworthy, selfishness, all of that. And it's only for you to live a better life. So if you're interested, go over to your pharmacy or just send me a message and I'll tell you more about it. And I'll just walk you through if you prefer making your purchase on Amazon. And that's $15.99 for the paperback, and the ebook is $7.99. All right. So welcome again for those who are just joining us. And thank you for being a faithful viewer. If you're a sponsor, thank you for your work and thank you for your gifts. All right. So let's get into the meat of tonight's matter, the mask behind the mask. I'm going to start us off with a brief word of prayer and then I will introduce our guest. Let us pray. Eternal God and our Father, we thank you for tonight. We thank you for our guests. We thank you for the viewers. We thank you for those who speak, those who don't. We thank you, God, that you are with us and that you will bless your people as you see fit. I pray that, God, you will speak through us as we open up our mouths. God, I pray that you will fill it with words, cleanse us, wash us, purify us, and let everything be done tonight to your glory and your honor. We ask you, God, for these and other mercies in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So thank you again for coming out, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please like and share. Say hey so I can give you a shout out when we do roll calls. All right. So without further ado, tonight's guest is an author. She is a motivational speaker. She is a podcast host and proud founder of Shana Unmasking Motivation. She is also a survivor of domestic violence and abuse, and now she uses her scars to help others through their trauma. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me make welcome our guest for tonight, Miss Shana Gourdine. I hope I said that right.
It's good on you, but you did well.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Just say hi to the viewers who came out to
Hi,
support
everybody.
you.
How y'all doing?
All right, so let's see who is here. Kadian is here. Thanks for coming. Anne-Marie, thank you for coming, Anne-Marie, first time, and I hope you will come again. Thank you for stopping by. Please like and share the video and say, leave a comment. Give us your feedback. All right, so tonight we're going to start off, of course, because our guest is an author. I'm going to allow her to give us a little background on what her book is about, and then we'll get into her testimony. All right, so it's right behind her, but just to show you guys on screen. All right, go ahead.
But yes, my beautiful book, The Mask Behind the Mask, is a book of poetry and spoken words that I put together for people to love all their imperfections despite of what they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis.
All right, all right. And what would, well, I'm not gonna get into that right now, but thank you for that clarity. You hear that, people? All right. So now I'm going to like let's talk about the beginning, right?
Mm.
I am aware that have you mentioned that you have chronic illnesses.
Mhm.
Just tell us a little more about how you maintain a balanced life with having chronic illnesses. What are some of those things that you have to balance your life with?
Well, to even go into it, the first thing I have is fibromyalgia, which is the chronic nerve pain. Then I also have the ankylosing spondylitis, which is arthritis in my spine and goes the rest of my joints like rheumatoid arthritis. And then I have a kidney disease. So a lot of times I have to minimize what I do because in order for me to be up washing dishes or doing laundry or lifting or even the normal things of life, it's a lot. So I give myself a shot once a week in order to function of it's a biological drug which actually suppresses my immune system. So I have to be very careful about who's around me, what they doing, coughing, medicine, like my kids going places because like a common cold for you is like maybe me getting the flu because I don't
Mhm.
have anything to fight it. So a lot of times I have to then also meditate, do yoga because like to not be a normal doing what I used to normally do, I can just get up and just go. It's not that anymore. Like a typical day for me is like I might not get out of bed till later because I might have been nauseous this morning or I might have been too painful. Like today it rained outside. So that affected my daily schedule. But I adjusted to it and just did a lot of things from bed instead of getting up and working at my desk. But
Okay.
it comes with life. I've learned to adjust to it and made it a normal for me.
And that's what makes you a winner, you know. It's not just because you are a woman and you don't just empower because of empowerment's sake. It's because you have something inside and you believe in yourself that even though you have all of these things happening and going on in your life, you still find the time, you still find it in you, in your strength, and by the strength of God to pull through and just be your best self. And I appreciate that because you are here tonight. So it really means a lot. I'm sure the
And I
viewers would
appreciate that.
agree. Sorry.
And I appreciate being here tonight.
Yes, yes. All right. So we're warming up, guys, and thank you for staying. All right. So I mentioned in the bio that you are a domestic violence and abuse survivor. Like, tell us about how that started now with your medical conditions.
It was quite interesting because the first abuse actually started before I found out about my condition. The first abuse actually happened while I was pregnant. I had to have been about 7 months pregnant, and I actually got threw against a cabinet, got strangled while my baby was in my stomach, and my most thought I was actually praying about my kid in my stomach instead of even my life.
Mm.
The second incident happened with the same person because I took him back, trying to make it work, listening to the I'm sorry's, how I call it, being blind to the infamous faces that are shown. And I got choked, I got strangled again in my apartment, holding my daughter. So that situation, I left and I thought, all right, I'm gonna continue life, being a parent, being a single mom. I'm gonna, get this together. So I had another relationship. A couple years later, in the midst of this, I'm finding out all the conditions I'm dealing with. But in the midst of this, I'm dealing with the domestic violence as well because I got into another relationship, and 3 years later, the abuser actually started, actually dealing with paranoid schizophrenia. And in the midst of me telling them that something's mental was not right with them, they blamed me for everything. And I got choked in my sleep. I got trying to actually leave my house. I was actually tried to attemptedly dragged up my stairs by my
Mm.
hair in the hoodie that I had on. Also with this, I was actually threatened to get my throat slashed. So basically, my life was on the line, and that wasn't what I wanted for my girl. So I had to figure, like, okay, what am I going to do next? And
Mhm.
so when I attempted to leave the relationship, I started getting stalked. Like they started coming to watch me drop my kids off. They started trying to come through my window of my house everywhere I went, they were popping up. So it's like, all right, something got to get. So I got a restraining order. They got arrested, all the etc. But that didn't stop them. They still attempted to pop up all sorts of places. Anywhere I was, they was attempting to try to find me. They were still calling me. They were harassing me. I was telling the cops, and it was just like, all right, what's the point of having a restraining order if I'm coming to y'all and telling y'all what's going on, and y'all still telling me, oh well, just change your number. My thing is, look, are y'all waiting for me to be dead? Like, are y'all waiting for me to die? And I'm just like, that's not an option. I got too much to live for. So I
Mhm.
decided to deal with this program called Unity House, which then helped me to get to a safer place. So my abuser actually got arrested. And once they got arrested, I changed locations, I changed cars and numbers. And it was just, my life was more worth than dealing with all that, and my kids deserve better.
That's understandable. But when they started abusing you, even the first failed relationship, did your partner even, was it because of the abuse that caused you to have those medical conditions?
That I'm maybe putting to my fibro, because like doing some studies, they linked the fibromyalgia, which is the chronic nerve pain, to
Mm-hmm.
trauma.
Yeah.
Now, everything else, like my kidney disease, is something I inherited. And the ankylosing spondylitis is something they say I inherited as well. Now, the fibro, which is an autoimmune disease as well, but they relate it to the stress of trauma. So,
Mm.
can I say for chance, could it be? It's possible. But I don't have the answer to that. So I just say, you know what? It's here. I got it for a reason. And evidently, I'm going to use it as a way to help others, because
Yeah.
regardless of what I'm carrying and what I dealt with, doesn't have to be the end of my story. So why not take my story and heal other people with what I've been through?
Yeah, and a lot of the times when we hear these kind of testimonies or stories about women being abused by their partners, we would hear that, there was some kind of sign, or, he used to get very angry and I would get afraid and maybe lock myself in the bathroom or something like that. But what were the signs that they showed you? Was it just
I
suddenly?
like the second abuser, I think it was maybe the insecurities I seen first, but there's a lot of people that's insecure, so I can't say that they would have been an abuser because they was insecure and they always felt that somebody else, you know what I mean? Like with
Mhm.
that abuser, it wasn't that type of sign, and I think it was more with them. They didn't understand what I was trying, because I actually took them to therapy to get them help. And in the
Yeah.
midst of me taking them out of the heart of kindness, trying to get them help and get them together, they blame me for everything. And I was the reason why they didn't have a job anymore, or their car broke, or anything that was going on in their life that went wrong. It was my fault.
Yeah. But even
Second
with the,
abuser,
sorry, go
oh,
ahead.
sorry, with the first abuser, I would say maybe him getting mad at certain stuff, but it was never me. It was never that he got mad at me like that. So
Mm.
maybe because that's why it wasn't the anger towards me. Maybe I didn't see it, but
Mm.
like as it went, you started noticing like, okay, and it's just like after the whole thing, you just look back at stuff and just like, okay, that was an eye opener. Now I know a lot of signs of a lot of things that I'm not allowing or settling for.
Yeah. And how long did the abuse last?
Um, the first one was 2011, but
Mhm.
in 2012, and then I ended it. It wasn't even that long. It went from maybe the incident happened the first time 2011, probably that August, and
Mhm.
then the second one happened again that May, but it wasn't like abuse and then it happened the whole time. I got strangled, it stopped, and then they got mad again, and I got strangled, and then I ended it. That was it. I wasn't about to do it.
And were
Now
you in
this,
when all of this happened though?
huh?
What, for a woman to stay with a man, regardless of his behavior, many times the woman is in love. Were you one of those women? Were you in love at
I
the
was,
time?
I was, but I had to let it go. Love
Mm.
don't define my life. I needed more than that to be a mother to my kids. That wasn't justifiable for me.
And what about all the investment that you had to put in the relationship? You know, a lot of women find it hard to just let go. Like, imagine you buying a furniture here, a furniture
Hmm.
there, you bought a car here, something
Hmm.
there, you paid the mortgage, like leaving all of this
Well,
behind
see, the
for
crazy thing
Jamaica.
about all my investment was bought by me. Like
Mm,
everything I owned, it was all mine. So it wasn't an investment like, oh, we did it together. A lot of stuff was already mine anyway. So
mm.
my thing was, what was I really losing
All right,
besides a
interesting.
partner?
All right, so let's see what the people are saying in the comments. Author Jill says, "Hey, love, first time, easy, first time. Thank you for coming. Please like and share." All right, so we're gonna continue. You were in love. You've had
Hmm.
two failed relationships with two children in the midst of all of that.
Yes.
How were you able to like keep the children calm and keep yourself calm? How did you
During the
manage
Jama-
being in that relationship?
you mean after the relationship was over or during the relationship as it
During.
was going? Well, the first relationship, they weren't old enough. They didn't even know what was going on. They were like the first relationship, my daughter had to been one and she wasn't there when it happened neither times. And my
Mhm,
second daughter, when she was in my stomach and then she was like 4 months. So she had no clue. The second
mhm,
relationship, that took some different tolls because they were a little older. They were like maybe about 4 or 5, somewhere in there. Well, yeah, somewhere in there because they're like about to be 9 and 10 right now. So but with that, I had to talk to them about what was going on. And, we had a discussion like, listen, mommies don't, because they'd be like, mommy, you okay? And he used to always come and check on me and stuff like that. So, my direction was just more to just let them be a kid. So, like, they knew mommy was going through and they've seen a lot of yelling and screaming, but they really didn't know what it was until after everything happened and we had a conversation. And after I left the situation, because I remember that night, it was like June, actually, I mean, January, I think it was like January 6th,
mhm,
2017. And what I did was I literally just picked them up, everything we had, everything that I could grab, and I went to their grandma's house. And I remember my daughters, them just, like, mommy, why we leaving our house? Why we can't be here anymore? And I just had to explain it. I'm like, listen, it wasn't safe. It wasn't a safe place to be. It wasn't a safe place for mommy to have you right now. So we have to do something better and get better and just, deal with this. And I had to deal with my daughter crying for a while because she wanted to be home. She wanted to be in her space. And
mhm.
then, I had to take them through therapy. And once I took them through therapy and took them and got them together, I took myself to therapy.
Yeah. All right. So were they like going to school during this time? If they
Yeah.
were going to school, did it affect them during their
Nope.
school time? No?
No, I didn't change any situation. I still took them to school. I woke up every morning, drove from where I was at, dropped them off, picked them up. Didn't
Mm,
change. Still did they work. Still was on focus. I kept them more focused on what was in school and stuff like that than what mommy was doing.
interesting. And that's the first time I'm hearing something like that because usually the children would be traumatized even at a very tender age because they were so exposed to the abuse that their
Mhm.
mother is going through.
But I didn't expect what it was. A lot of times the abuse didn't happen around me. A lot of
Oh.
times they might have been at school or they might have been gone and not at home. And I prefer it to have been that way because I didn't want them to be that exposed to it. Now, had they seen me once, and that was the time I was trying to leave the house and I was getting dragged upstairs, that was the one incident they seen and that we dealt with and we talked about. But other than that, I didn't. I really tried to keep the drama away from them. They might hear me having a normal argument, but all the other explicit things they weren't around for, and I'm honestly thank God they weren't because I didn't want them that exposed to.
Yeah. And did you ever find out why your partners were so abusive toward you?
Well, from my opinion, from what I got from it, is that they both seen their parents go through domestic violence. So, from what my research of actually going through therapy and understanding other people and the things and behaviors is,
Mm-hmm.
I just feel that they related more to the abuser, and they decided that maybe that was a better way for they to control their relationships.
Mm.
As of
Interesting.
them, my last abuser actually texted me and was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was going through schizophrenia. I still love you. The voices was telling me to do it. I don't care nothing about that. I forgive you on my own, and you must move on."
All right, what is that thing though? In my head, I'm saying, all right, this is an insane person. They're not of
Hmm.
sound mind, and they
Hmm.
keep doing this, but then they're sorry.
Yeah, the I'm sorry's. It gets
Huh?
old.
Listen. Hmm. 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 All right. So Arthur Jill says, "So proud of you, Sheena. You're so strong. I know the feeling wholeheartedly, and so glad I found the strength to leave. Continue to love yourself and move forward in life." Easy says, "After going through all of this, did you fear getting into a romantic relationship?"
Yes, that's why I went to therapy for one. I went to therapy for my dealing with the domestic violence of actually getting myself together, because I was
Mhm.
dealing with the nightmares, the trauma, the piece, because I was actually like just a whole like anxiety, depression. So I went through that part of therapy. And then the second part was me understanding, could I even love again? Because like when it first started, I didn't want to be bothered with nobody. I didn't want to be in no relationship. I I'm like, what is love? Is this really love? Like, is this really what it's supposed to be? Like, love ain't supposed to hurt. So
Yeah,
it's like,
right?
so it took a while. It took a while for me to ever be in a relationship ever again. Because, and
Mhm.
then soon as people, when I started dating myself. I dated myself to make myself happy, because if I know what happiness is, nobody else is giving it to
But how do you date yourself?
me. As far I went, let me tell you,
Is that
I
weird?
went on dates. I went to dinner. I went
Uh,
to the movies. I took myself to concerts. I went out, hanged out by myself, went bowling, went to take walks by myself. I learned who I was. Because in order to date you, you got to understand who you are before somebody else can date you. So
yeah.
I had to learn myself. I took that stance in my mirror and was like, all right, what do I like and what do I don't like about myself? And that's kind of how the title came about. Because it's like, if you can't love all your imperfections, and if you can't love all your flaws, how do you expect somebody else to love it? So you have to learn all the ins, the outs, and what you like and what you don't like about yourself. Because that way you just love it all. And if everybody can't love what the part of you, they don't love you.
Yeah, so did the abuse ever affect your self-esteem, how you value yourself even before you
I would
started going
say
on dates?
I would say thank the Lord that I was one that learned a long time ago about low self-esteem and loving myself, because I would have been in trouble. I would have been in a dark place. But before all this happened, I was already confident in loving who I was. So
Mm,
anything that that person said, I allowed it, I heard it, but I didn't digest it. I know I
mm.
wasn't all these things you was telling me. I know I
Woo!
wasn't what you was trying to define me. And I know how they say what you answer to is what your name is. My name is Shana Gourdine, and that's what I answer
Mm. I heard it. I said I
to.
allowed it. I heard it, but I didn't digest it. Ooh! Yeah, that's some spice right there. I love that. I love that part there. All right, all right, all right. All right, so I'm coming out. All right, so going on dates. What are some of the things that you used to do by yourself, seeing that you were so confident and loving and appreciative of Sheena? What are some of the things that you did
What, on my dates or my self-care days? Which
on
ones?
on your dates with Sheena?
Well, my typical date, I would actually first I had to go get my nails and feet done because I had to pretty myself up. I had like, that was my pamper day. I had to get the nails and the feet done. That was done for me.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I had to do for myself. I would either choose if I want to sit and watch a Netflix movie or if I'm going to the movies myself, and if it was something out that I wanted to see. Then I would decide, did I want to go to dinner? What restaurant did I want to go to? Did I want to go to Applebee's? Did I want to go to Fridays? What I wanted to eat? Or did I even want to just cook myself a meal? Like, I remember one Valentine's Day, actually, I cooked myself a nice old meal. I made me a steak with some potatoes, loaded with, with the cheese and the sour cream. Then then I went and made me like a seafood boil with the shrimp, the sausage, the corn, and the potatoes in it. I had me a good old day with a glass of wine. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Wow, that is some interesting stuff because usually women who go through domestic violence and abuse, they like let go themselves. They probably gain weight or lose weight. Hair is messy, the face is messy. There's nothing that is done that's productive. The house isn't clean, the food isn't cooked, nothing is done. Like the bills aren't even paid. So
Yeah,
I listen,
I
you
kept it
must have
together.
had there must have been something that you held on to during the years that you were going through this kind of affliction.
I did my spirit for God, my strength that I need to be here for my kids. And I always was taught, like my mom raised me. So it was like, growing up back in Cross, South Carolina, it was like a lot of hard work. So like I
Mhm.
lived on like a field. Like we had the, I lived on like a farm. We had the fields, the pigs, the chickens. So I've always known about just being able to take care of yourself. So I've learned at an early age how to be able to function and deal
Mhm.
with just loving me and taking care of a lot of things. And then, when you're an only kid, you've learned how to be alone. So I grew up just learning to just go, like, after you deal with something,
Mhm.
I know that I needed motivation to define who I was. So I use my poetry as well. And like a lot of my
Mhm.
poems, I used to write during the midst of it. So that was my outlet that gave me the motion to be okay because I was taking it out of myself. I wasn't leaving it there. I wasn't letting it drown me. I might have went through it, but I have already lived through it and I don't want to go back. So me writing the poems was a great way to just necessarily make myself feel better. I gave my
Mhm.
words of wisdom through my work.
Okay. All right. And Easy says, "Thank you so much for sharing your story." Ooh. And Elliston says, "Who is paying?" Of course, me, Sheena. Flick your hair. All right. All right. So you paid for those meals. Ta-da!
Yes.
Yeah, it can be. All right. So your mindset during all of these things, these things affect our minds, our emotions. It affects maybe the way we talk, maybe our dress code might change a little bit, a little change in attitude, maybe something, maybe you feel like taking it to the streets. I don't know. Like the battle wasn't yours at that time. You said you had a spirit for God. I want to know, like being on the inside. Tuesday we talked about what happens in the house stays in the house, and we spilled that tea. Tonight, I want you to tell us now who was Sheena during the abuse or the years of abuse. You're
Crazy
telling me
thing
that you
about
did not change?
no, honestly, like I might have not talked as much about the situation,
Uh-huh.
but I still went to work. I still went to my doctor's appointment, still went to church service every Sunday, still took care of kids, still paid the
Mm,
bills, still cooked the dinner, still carried the load.
nah. Mm-mm. This is not real. This
You
is not
actually, I'm
real.
telling you, like all my friends, they didn't know. Like when I say nobody knew what I dealt with until I told my story.
Mm.
Nobody knew.
So
They
didn't
was
you
just
start
like,
exploding with all of this abuse bottled up inside? Yes, I know that
I
you wrote
did.
the poems.
I prayed a lot of times on like because I was so used to not speaking out when I was younger. I kept a lot of things in anyway, so I was just used to holding on to it. And finally, in 2018, I decided that I was not holding it anymore. I was going to write my book. I was going to tell my story, and I was going to tell what it is.
Mm.
And it's not okay. It was a lot to deal with. Did I cry sometimes? Yeah, I cried by myself.
Yeah, you
Had
must
my
have.
moments. I cried by myself. I was in the bathroom having my moments by myself. I was praying
Mhm.
in my Bible. Down to my pastor, I didn't tell anybody.
But what was the worst part though? You feel like
Just
you even
dealing
feel
with
like
it.
what was the worst part about it?
Dealing with it. Dealing with it because it wasn't something I was expecting. And I was a lot of times I was one that really didn't like people in my business, so that's probably why I didn't talk about it. I didn't want to have the conversation on what it was and all the et ceteras behind it. And at this point now, I'm just comfortable with it. I didn't want nobody to judge me because that's like, who wants to let their friends know they're going through abuse? Who wants to
Yeah,
let their parents know that lives 16 hours away, that's not right there, that mom, I'm dealing with this. That'll be heartbreaking for my mother and my father, my sister, my brother. That's a lot for them. And when I did tell them, they was like, well, why didn't you been tell me? I wasn't comfortable. And what I'm not comfortable with, I don't talk about. So
understandable.
I had
Did
to
you?
get comfortable in my skin to now let it out and
All
be okay
right,
with it.
all right.
Be okay to let people know that it's not okay to say that you okay and you're not okay. I went through the trauma of holding it in, and it's people that do sit in silence. So
Mm,
now I'm being the voice and letting you know, don't sit in silence. Don't be depressed. Don't feel hurt. Don't allow the situation to continue and not say nothing.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I'm being able to tell the people to do what I didn't do. Talk
Mm-hmm.
about it. Get it
All
out.
right, all right. Did you have any regrets? Maybe were you ever disappointed in yourself for allowing these things to happen?
I went through that with my therapist as well. And I was like, I blame myself for a lot of things that I did allow, but I turned around and forgave myself for it. Why? Because you know what? It happened. And
Mm,
I can't change nothing about it. At this point now, I can only do better. And I know what I'm going to allow and what I'm not selling. And as this goes, I continue to teach people to the signs and what you shouldn't allow, and the signs that could be that you didn't see because you were looking somewhere else. So what you thinking, and yeah, you saw that. That's what it was. Don't second guess your instinct into your gut. Your gut is your answer.
mm. All right. I have I just have two more concerns. So
Mhm.
I have one more to ask you about this big secret that a lot of women who find themselves in domestic abuse,
Yeah.
right? A lot of women like how tell us, spill that secret. You don't have to tell nobody else. Just tell us now. How are you able to break off these relationships? Like people are in here dying, wanting to get out.
Well, my strength came from definitely like my kids was my reason that I had to change what was going on. They were
Mm,
my definitely why. Two, I use the spirit. Like I've gone to church all my life, so that was my go-to, and that was my strength. Like that's what guided me through a lot of things. And
yes.
honestly, it was always like, all right, I'm praying through this, but I have to go to therapy too. And I went and used the programs and the help that is out there. I didn't say, oh, well, I don't know what to do. It's programs out there. Use them for what they're for. There's shelters to go to, there's hotlines to call, there's people that are there and you're not alone. So I accepted to not be alone and actually let people help me. But the thing about this is though, if you're not ready to leave that person, they're not gonna leave and they're gonna end up going back. So you gotta be sure you're ready to be out and you wanna live for yourself and not live for the situation you was in. Because some people stay for the materialistics, they stay for the money, they stay for okay, I stay for the kids, I get all that. But if you can get you and your kids out, get them out, go someplace where they can help you, shelter you, find you, get you any place because they give you shelter to then eventually get you an apartment. And some people don't want to go to the shelter because they don't want to lose all the materialistic things. But the materialistic things ain't gonna be there if you get killed. So you got to think of your life and what it's worth. You got to think about what's going on. Because I've had, and let me tell you the crazy thing about it. I had somebody send me an email and they was like, somebody, reach out to this person. They need some help. I talked to the person and they were like, oh, I'm in a dangerous situation with my kids. So I was like, well, won't you call the shelter or whatever, whatever. Oh, I just did that. I don't want to go back there. I just bought my stuff. I said, so if your life is more important than the stuff you're trying to keep, or is the
Yeah.
stuff you're trying to keep is more important than your life and your kids?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just kind of how I laid it out there, because some people really don't want to go because they don't want to go back to being in a shelter and trying to get around and materialistic things that they're trying to get. But everything that you lose, God will give it back to you. So you got to be motivated to get back what you lost and be able to lose it,
All
because
right.
it'll be given to you later.
All right. So Shanika is here. She says, catching up. Good evening, family. It's not okay, not one bit. Silence is a killer. The shame and the cycle of abuse is such a tough thing. Lots of reasons why people stay hard to understand, but you shed some light, and that is so true. I have to respect Sheena's courage and strength. Like, has anybody ever seen that movie Enough with Jennifer Lopez?
That's my favorite movie. I read the book too. I read the book
Listen,
and yes, that's
this
my movie.
woman could not go to the restroom in
Yeah.
peace.
Yep.
I listen, you all need to go over and watch Enough when we're done
That's
here.
that movie. That's that movie.
It takes a lot of courage, especially, and then that man stalked her. And I know you mentioned
Mm-hmm.
something about being stalked. What was it like for somebody to be following you all the time?
That was the most uncomfortable feeling and nerve wracking feeling ever, because you always looking over your shoulder. You never know that if you open your door, if the person's going to be right there. Like,
Mhm.
going to sleep at night was the hardest thing, because one time they literally tried to come through my window. So say if I was sleeping, they came through my window, what would have happened to me? So like, to have that happen and to be in fear, that wasn't comfortable. But I had to learn to remove myself from that situation so it was more safety for me. But that was almost one of the reasons why I didn't put my book out. But I had to remember that the battle wasn't mine. And I
Mhm.
have somebody that is greater and that will protect me from whatever is trying to harm me.
Yeah.
So I took that chance and said, listen, I'm going to put my book out regardless, and I'm not going to let fear be my barrier why I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do in my purpose.
You see that barrier called fear. You see, after you've been, basically what you did is rationalize with the situation. You probably pen some thoughts down. You process it over a period of time, and then you say, "Hey, this is not gonna like kill me if I step out and be brave. But if I move, I am going to get some positive results. My children are going to be happier. We're going to be safe. We can live a peaceful life without having this load trailing us all the time." Listen, I can't imagine how it feels to have somebody come through. Like, where I come through my window for? Where I follow my coming for? Leave
Exactly.
me alone.
That was my favorite word. Just leave me alone.
Leave me alone. And even you said you went to the cops and they were like, "Oh, just change your number."
Because they was like, how do you prove that was your abuser? I'm like, because I know the number and that's who it is. And you can hear the person breathing on the phone. Like, I know who it is. You know
Mhm.
who it is. So why I got to change my number? Oh, but see, that's where I have to take the initiative to, like, you're not going to let nobody kill me. This ain't about to happen. So I had to be
Yeah.
stronger than what was going on.
So even if you were afraid of what might happen, the
I had to
possibility
leave.
of getting a better result, girl, come on, no man. You
Yeah.
basically overcame that barrier of fear because you exposed yourself to the what might happen, which didn't happen, and you made a change. So when you actually came out of this now, what would you say are some of the red flags that women can look out for? Because we call them red flag. You see, if he does certain things, red flag. He's
I
not doing
mean,
so and so.
yeah, definitely like the short temper, the angry
Mm,
for no reason, or like just the name calling. That's already abuse right there. That's that verbal abuse. You getting name calls. The insecurities of not trusting you for nothing you're doing. That's control issues. When somebody's trying to control you, there's a problem because we are adults. There's a thing called compromise. I'm not your kid. When they start treating you like you a child, there's a problem. And then every time something happens, the I'm sorry, they get old. Because like my mama used to say, she said, don't tell me I'm sorry because I don't deal with sorry people. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry alone doesn't cut it, you have to actually
You got to
change your
prove it.
behavior at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actions speak louder than words in my book.
all
And,
the time, all the time.
I tell a lot of people, just because it looks like love don't mean it's love. A lot of that can be lust. Just everything that looks good on the outside doesn't mean it's good on the inside. Because what they
Yeah.
carry might be the problem. And sometimes people carrying their problems and never released it, and now they're putting it on you.
That's true, especially if
Kind of
they've seen it happen with their parents or a family member, friend, or something like that before. All right, all right, all right, cool. All right. I see you, Sheena. I see you. Overcoming and all. So what do you do now? Would you say that you have forgiven your abusers for putting you through this pain?
You know what? I had to, and it wasn't for them. I forgave them for myself because I needed to be better for me, not for them.
Me, miss, say it a little louder for the people around our back. Repeat it. Say it
I
again.
said, I got you. I said I didn't forgive them for them. I forgave them for me because I needed to be better, not for anybody else, for me.
Yes. Listen, you see that this whole forgiveness thing, I always say it. What is ironic about it? It's just a gift that you give to somebody for yourself. It doesn't make
Mm-hmm.
sense just
Yeah.
thinking about it, but when you actually try it, listen, it does wonders. Imagine, maybe if you haven't like decided to let it go, then maybe you'll be living scared anyway,
Yeah.
even though you're physically out of that stress.
Yeah.
So
Because the thing
trauma,
about it is when you, what you
mm-hmm.
say? No, I was about to
No,
say the thing about it is when you hold on to that baggage, because at one point I was angry. I was
yeah,
frustrated because I felt that they were taking innocent things from me, of where I had to switch my life. I was mad for a minute because you go through the different stages as you go through the process. But once you go through the process, at the end, you will understand, you know what? It's okay. I'm okay now. And evidently I went through that for a reason. But I'm going to use it now for a greater vision than that's bigger than me.
did you ever feel like taking revenge, maybe burning
No,
down the house? I don't know. Something.
no, no, because the thing
No.
about it is, I don't have to do the revenge. Karma comes. Karma
Ooh.
got a name and karma hits you well. I don't got to do it. Somebody, listen, karma comes very well. I've
Listen,
seen, and what's crazy is I've seen it happen with my own eyes. So, nope, I ain't got to do nothing. I ain't got to do a thing. Continue with my life and keep it moving.
that's faith right there. Because I've spoken to people, and people are saying, I felt like taking it to the streets, like getting some, we call boards two before,
Yeah.
maybe my last stand, maybe a broomstick here and there, something, a torch, something, to let them feel what I'm feeling because you did this to me. So why I have to be the only one to suffer? You get me?
I get you, but you know what? I took that anger and reversed it. I didn't share it and use it for evil. I took that anger and put it in a book. And now
Mm.
all of what you've done to me have made me the greater person that I am now. I'm an author, a great mom, a motivational speaker, a host. I I'm good. So
Yeah.
hopefully you're good, and I see it like
And
that.
you know what I believe? The sauce, that when you simmer down in all of that, you
Hmm.
came up with this beautiful aroma. Like this sauce that I'm getting from you now, guys, the sauce is in the book. You have to
It
taste it.
is.
Listen,
You gotta
guys,
saute and mix it up. Yes.
some oxtails are in there, some jerk chicken,
Some,
some curry.
some curry.
Somebody come and get me, please. Um, all right, so you've been through that. Let me see what the people are chatting it up in the comments. I don't want anybody to feel neglected. So hold on a second. Think I'm reading too fast. So Shanika says it's perfectly okay to start over. Yes, I saw it. Enough powerful. So she's talking about the movie. Like you
Mm-hmm.
lived your own movie over there. Like you should be
I,
named the Sheena. Sheena Lopez. I don't know if you want to call it that. But yeah, you basically had your enough moment, and I'm gonna ask you about that a little bit after that.
mhm.
Come on, God, breaking the barrier of fear. Red flag. Like, where is Wally British when we need her? Red flag. It's important to look for the red flags, yes. But sometimes, they say love is blind, and sometimes we're
Yeah.
blind by our infatuation, and we're so over the moon, and
The
he's so.
honeymoon time. Look, the honeymoon times.
Listen to me now, man. Sure. Took that anger and reversed it. That just remind me of Missy Elliott. What the song they go again? I'm not going to sing it. I'm Christian. I don't sing those songs. But that's what she did to that anger, okay? All right, so your enough moment. Everyone has an enough moment, a breaking point where, I'm sick and tired of this. I'm tired for that man
Mhm.
here. I deal with me like me a dog. This is frustrating. Nobody knows, but I am just done. When did you get to your enough?
My enough moment was definitely in January when I left in 2017. I couldn't do with it. Like, all right, I'm already dealing with my own health conditions. I have 2 kids, and why should I live my life like this? I don't deserve that.
Mm-hmm.
I deserve better. So I took my better and got better.
Real Maca Diamond for all the Jamaicans listening. This is a Maca Diamond right here. So you just packed your things and left,
Yeah.
basically.
The second one, I packed my things and left to be in a safer space. The first one, I packed his things and dropped him off to where
Ooh,
he been and said, "Don't come back no more."
um, somebody come get you. Look, almost forgot me on one live. Is this a live stream? I'm checking. Is it live?
Yes, it is.
Not many women are courageous enough because I've heard women who are abused, even here in this little
Mhm,
island here, sweet, sweet Jamaica, what we love so much. People are being abused and they own the house. They bought 2 cars.
mhm.
They pay the bills, the rent, they work and do everything. And the man, whoop, 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 whoopings and beatings and cussings and name callings, and she gets thrown out, and I'm thinking, how does this happen? Isn't this your stuff? Or I don't know
There's a
how
lot of
different
times.
persons work it out, but you were brave.
Yeah.
And as I said, when you simmer down in this mask, behind the mask, I think it really did something to you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, because I'm really getting a lot of sauce here. Like you really put him in his place. Like you taught him a lesson that every other abuser is upset with him now because you didn't take that crap. So,
Yeah.
like, abusers all over the world are upset with him today. I'm telling you, I'm upset.
And I'm giving, look, I'm starting to give all the people that are survivors the salt.
Guys,
That's what I'm
get
here
you
for.
the mask behind the mask. This is too much sauce for this live stream. And I can't let her just pour out everything. Like, y'all need to go and get some jerk chicken and then get the sauce and pour it on it yourselves. Like, have your own little island grill at
Yep.
home. You get
Straight
me?
up. That
Yeah,
sauce.
man. Yeah, yeah, man. All right. So you've been through this, you've been through enough to know that God is still alive. You have something in you that, is meant to live beyond being abused. You are bigger than this. You are better than this. You are stronger than this,
Yeah.
obviously. So do you feel like you've gotten over it completely? Like a lot of persons still go to therapy, maybe a couple years after. Like, how do you deal with it now when you remember some things?
I've actually learned a lot of different methods, and I
Mm-hmm.
use my own, like I've used certain songs to like, because we all have triggers. I'm still human. I have my moments. There's a lot of things that I don't deal with anymore, but the stuff that still might come up here and there. It happens.
Yeah.
But I've learned to, when those times pop up, I've learned to meditate, or the song that will get me through, or the words that I need to tell myself, like, listen, you got this. It's all right. We've been through the storm and we've overcome the situation. So we got this. And this is the words, that I've strengthened myself through. Like I have a poem here that's called Power. I
Yeah.
use those poems. I have another one called Overcomer. I have one that's called Control. These are the different things I go back to. And that's why I wrote them. So people are able to go back and define something that might be going on, that they might need that empower, inspiration, that motivation to just be okay at that moment. And like I tell people in the book, you can cry, you can smile, you can be happy, you can be sad. But the thing about it is, what are you going to do when all that is over? So this is
Mm-hmm.
why I wrote the book, for you to understand that we all carry a mask. We all been through something. We all walk the path. It might be a little different. We all had a struggle, but we all can be happy and okay behind that mask. And it's okay to tell people, I'm not okay today, and today's not a good day, and I'm going through something. I might just need a hug. It's all right. You don't have to shelter in and hold it in and keep it so deep down, grounded into where it's going to trickle over to the next generation. And I was determined to not have that happen to my kids. They were not gonna go and be like, okay, I see my mama do this, so that's gonna be okay. No, I gotta teach you the journey and the beliefs and the things that need to be instilled in you, the rights, the wrongs, and what you should look for before it happens to them. I was not letting that happen.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Big up yourself, champion. That just reminds me of the song that says it's the eye of the tiger. That beat, make you feel like you're
Mm-hmm.
going the ring, and
Yeah.
you're the heavyweight champion right now. All right. I don't listen to me now, man. You are the heavyweight champion. Believe me, just own it. Own that. You deserve that much and more. Own it, sister. Own it. Own it. You are strong. And I believe in you. I believe in your story. You have been through it and you overcome. And I'm sure that a lot of other women who are silently listening, you may not be, courageous enough to come out, but I'm sure that after hearing Sheena's story, you will make a difference. You will not fall for that. I'm sorry, honey, baby. I'm not gonna do it again.
I'm sorry, you want a flower, a bag? Pay attention.
The red flags.
Yes,
Mm.
yes.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. So we're toning down on this sauce. We're adding, the little remaining spices to tonight's dish. Uh, Shanika says yes. Pack him up.
Yeah.
I am coming off this live. It's fulfilled. Listen, pack up your things and live. Look here and see the man I watch every move we make. Make a run in here. Shit. Y'all know Macadam, I'm done. That's a Jamaican dancehall artist. Like she spoke about these things. The man keeps watching her. he's being abusive, he's cheating, and he's just not giving this woman a break. So she went to her friend and he said, Yo, Maka, pack up your things and leave. And she's like, Blacker, I'm afraid. Me no want to leave him. Left.
Yeah.
In your
That's it.
case, pack him up.
Pack them. Pack them up. Drop them off. Bye. 2 fingers and spread it.
I am. Guys, the sauce is in the book. And tonight, believe only one person is going to walk away with all of that sauce. Okay? Sheena, I'm sorry. I just want to thank you for, sticking it out, for being so courageous, helping us to shed some light on what really happens in the house, because a lot of persons let it stay in the house. But
Yeah.
tonight, you've been another survivor to spill that tea and to bring empowerment to women all across the world. Children many years from now are going to be looking up to you. Listen, this is a real legacy right here. And for those who are here tonight, you are blessed having heard this from her own lips. Believe me, you are blessed. And this is another thing now. I am even now more appreciative of spoken words. I listen to a lot of spoken words. But now I understand where all this passion, all this juice comes from. Because it's your own experience. And as I said, own your stuff. You've
Yep.
already gone through that. Don't let it hold you down. Get up, brush yourself off,
Mhm.
come again, back in the ring. But this
Yeah.
time, you are in the ring cheering on other women who need to fight their way out. Did I
Yep.
say that right?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And that's why it's necessary for why I needed to build my platform and give people that don't speak or are too quiet or too scared or don't know what to do the
Mhm.
voice. I
All
had to be
right.
the voice for them.
And now you've discovered your inner purpose in all of this pain that you've been through. What are some of the ways that you're helping women now come out of, from beyond the mask?
Well, I created the Shana UNMASKING Motivation where, like I said, I do the motivational speaking, I do the seminars and conferences, but I also do workshops. And I also do one-on-ones, but the workshops I also do is that I create a mask, and literally you probably can see the mask up there is blue, red, sitting right there.
Yeah,
That one,
yeah.
I painted that myself. And what I do is I literally, it's a white mask. I give them the mask and let them paint on it. And at that moment, I let them write the words that they're dealing with at that moment. Because, like I said, everybody wears a mask. And then if it's anything negative on it, we talk about it. We're going to understand why you're carrying all this heaviness. And I give you a chance to look at yourself right in the mirror at that very moment to understand that you're carrying these things and you don't have to. Once you release it and continue to put positive inside of you, it's going to be the positive that's going to grow into you. What you manifest inside your soul is what you manifest outside of you as well. If you got negative in you, you're going to be a negative energy. So you have to bring that positive to you and continue to build and feed your soul with that positive and energy and motivation and efforts to be in a
Mm.
better standing. I also, like, on my podcast, we give a platform for people to be able to, express on who they are and talk about the different things they do. So that's like another thing I do as well. I'm a part of an organization called HGM, which we do, it's called Her Temple Monologue. We do domestic violence. We do things about cancer, AIDS. We do a lot of community work as well with the community. I go back to the shelters, the survivors, and I called it the survival circle. I go to the ladies to the shelters that been through the domestic violence, and I talk to them, and I let them understand that I've been where you've been. I know how hard it can be. I know the nightmares, the triggers, the anxiety, the night sweats, all the above, talking in your sleep. I've been there, but you
Yeah.
don't have to stay there. And if you don't want to stay there, you got to work to be better than where you've been. Because the longer you manifest in it, the longer it's going to be with you. You got to be willing to put the work in to be a better version of yourself. And I'm just determined to feed people the positive. You got to want to do the work, though. Because if you don't want to do the work, it'll never change. You're going to go back to doing the same thing. Like I tell a lot of people, the same mindset you keep is what you end up doing. You got to change your mindset to be greater. I tell a lot of people it can be uncomfortable, but you got to be uncomfortable to get comfortable to be successful.
Yeah, powerful stuff. Ladies who are here tonight and those who will be catching the replay, of course, be sure to get your copy of The Mask in the Mask. Believe me, guys, it's a lot of sauce. Whether you are at your enough moment, whether you're entering into that battlefield with your lover who is being so uneasy with you, and you feel like, I'm really uncomfortable, but I'm not sure because, I love him. Get yourself a copy. Sheena is going to be telling you how she got through her night sweats, cold sweat, day sweat, afternoon sweat, nightmare, heart attack, racing heart, everything that she felt during that time. She is going to give you a lot more insight on how to take care of that trauma and that drama. And if you want to speak to her one-on-one, she does have a workshop. She does have the platform for you to do it. Her information is on the screen. Reach out to her, whatever stage you are in that mask life. And I said mask. If you're wearing that mask, ladies, if you know a friend who is wearing it, a cousin, maybe a sister, your neighbor, get them a copy as a gift. It is a beautiful gift to have, believe me. She can contain all this sauce, and it was written to flavor this earth. So I'm trusting you guys to make that move when we are done here, okay? All right.
And book 2 is coming soon.
I can't wait to hear about it. Trust me.
The sauce is there.
All right, so I don't see anybody else saying anything. So, of course, we're going to get right into that time of the night, the evening, where we are going to allow Sheena to ask one question, and whoever was paying attention, you will be able to walk away with a copy of The Mask Behind the Mask. Right? So you get to taste that sauce first tonight. The rest of us are just going to have to go over to her website and buy it ourselves. All right? Let me give you some time to say that you're ready. I'm going to give you all 30 seconds. After that, Sheena's going to ask us her question. I'm going to give you some Jeopardy, and then,
Some Jeopardy.
some Jeopardy to think, and then we will announce the winner. All right? 10 more seconds. All right. So enough time has been allotted for silence. So go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. So I told y'all what happened with me with my domestic violence. So what was the first incident when I went through my domestic violence? What actually happened?
For those who are paying attention, what was the first incident when she went through domestic violence? Go.
He got the Jeopardy music in full. I love it.
Come on, guys, you can do it. Guys, I'm gonna give you 30 more seconds. Hold on a second. I don't see the answer yet.
I don't see that. Yeah.
All
That means
right.
they better have been paying attention. Because I said it.
30 more seconds, guys. All
You have an
right.
early
The
finish.
early
Where you
birds
at?
are answering.
She said I wasn't here.
Somebody told me the wrong time. Oh, sorry about that.
I said 9:30. I don't know why. It's 10:36 now.
Nobody wants it. You got ah. Wanna guess, man? The first incident. Please, guys, I'm begging of you. Don't miss out. Don't be left behind. What's this?
What that say?
Come again. Maybe you want to rephrase.
Okay. How? What they answer? Because I don't know.
All right. So Elliston says stab.
No.
All right. Somebody else try again. Come on, guys. I don't want no more Jeopardy.
You want me to change the question?
Yeah, change the question because I don't know
Where am
why.
I originally? Where am I originally from?
Huh. Come, guys. Come on. Come on, guys. Let's do this. Where is Sheena from? I signed this tonight. This is a real sign. This is a sign. This is a sign. All right. So John says South Carolina.
That's correct.
All right. Shanika said, these are the reasons I need to join early. All right. So hold on. Let me get the name. Can I just say John Senior?
Yeah. You can say JC.
Okay, JC, congratulations on getting that sauce. Big up yourself. Enough love coming from, all the way out here in the Caribbean. Yeah, thank you
Yes,
for
in the Caribbean.
participating. Send us your winner's speech, right? I know you may not be used to it, but it's our tradition. So whoever wins, send us a little speech and I'll read it out for you. JC, thank you. Thank you. All right. So, in the meantime, do you have any final words of encouragement for the women out here?
I
Who
always have words of encouragement. You know me, but I ain't gonna give too much sauce tonight. But I would definitely say the words of encouragement. I always say, whatever your dreams are, whatever you focus to be successful for, you still trying to figure out your purpose. Figure out what's stopping you from doing it. Figure
Mhm.
out what's making you not be at the state of the different sections where you should be. We all have a purpose to be here. We all have a reason to go somewhere. We all are here for reasons. So don't let your fear, your feeling that you're not going to be successful, or feeling that you can't get out that relationship, or feeling that you can't do better, or you think that's what love is. Learn to love yourself first.
Mhm.
Throw out your barriers and go with your purpose. Success is a great thing. Take the steps. It's a powerful moment. I'm telling you.
I feel it. Amen. Break the barriers of fear. Get some courage
Yes.
and step out. You ain't gonna know until you move. You have to move.
They got to get uncomfortable. A lot of people are afraid of uncomfortable. They like that comfortable moment, like, oh, I'm comfy right here, but you're
Mhm.
not happy right now.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you for that. I am really inspired. I am empowered by your message. And I thank God that, I'm not glad that you had the pain, but I'm glad that you are here to share that struggle with us and share how you came out the heavyweight champion. Big up yourself, sis. Enough love. Enough ackee and saltfish, enough breadfruit, enough dumpling and yam and green banana. Guys, we cooked a pot here tonight and y'all missed the
Yeah.
sauce. So let me tell you again, go and get your copy of The Mask in the Mask. The sauce is good and she will just spill the beans. The tea ain't gonna be in the cup anymore.
No,
It's no
I'm
longer in the
willing to share
house.
too. You can reach
Knowledge
out
sets
to me
us
too.
free. Hmm. So on
We here
TalkTruth
for it.
Series, she really spoke the truth tonight, and I am appreciative of this. Thank you again. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Thank you, Sheena, for availing yourself. This has been a beautiful conversation. I enjoyed it, and I'm sure the viewers were blessed. Thank you for your time and all your hard work that you've put in. And I look forward to seeing a lot more work from you. You know, I know you have a book coming up, but you will pull through. You will.
Yeah.
You will. So JC says, I'd like to thank God. I'd like to thank God. The two lovely ladies on the panel support Black businesses and be great. I love you, Shay. God bless. Woo! I love it. I enjoyed the live. Enough though I was late. Even though I was late, it was good. Thanks, Sheena. Many blessings continue to empower others. We feel your sis and we are hoping that you will come back, you know, when you have your next book. Yeah.
Listen, it's coming real soon. It's in editing process right now, so I'll be back real soon. I'm trying to have it out by my birthday, so I'll be back real soon. My
Or
birthday's in
before.
November.
Or before. Either. You know, just tell me and I'll.
Oh, I got you. Soon as I get the date where it's ready to release, I'm gonna email you like, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for bringing all this energy out. I love the sauce and I love that you understand Caribbean. I love it. I love it. Thank you again to everyone who came out tonight. We really appreciate you. You are a big part of the TalkTruth series family, and you make every show a beautiful experience and a great way to build a refined community. If you would love to get your copy of Sheena's book, her information is here on screen. She's on Facebook. There's her website. You can purchase the book there. She's on Instagram. Reach out to her and say, hey, let her know that you want to support what she's doing. Also, for those who have been faithfully sponsoring Talk Truth series, whether by views, whether by likes, shares, saying, hey, we appreciate you and we are very grateful for all that you've put in. We need more lights. We need better camera, everything. And if you'd like to continue to sponsor us, even monetarily or gifts, we appreciate that as well. Just reach out to us and we will let you know how to gift us. All right. Anybody want to big up Sheena? Anybody want to big up?
They don't went quiet.
Want to say hey to anybody?
Can always be really good to say, to the hometown, the big city of Cross, South Carolina. Also to my Moco family, where I went to school and got my BA from, which is Morris College. So big shouts out to my Moco's family. Always shouts out to my mom, Viola Gourdine, my father, John Simmons, my sister, Jolanda, and my brother, Cam. To my kids, Leon and Samira, who's sitting right here by me, and just all to everybody. I love y'all.
All right. Thank you for coming in and I appreciate your time. Have a beautiful rest of your night and stay safe. All right.
Yes, we're going to have to
Thank
talk, eat
you.
later.
Listen, you know what?
Off live.
Off the line. All right. All right. All right. All right. Good night, everyone. This has been Talk Truth Series. Real talk, real people, live. See you on Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Your guest will be Lamar. Big up on yourself. Good night, everyone.